try this now.
All right.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics, where I am your host, the extremely late and gay Church of Failure. And with me, as always, is my extremely late and gay co-host, Ayrton McCartney. How you doing today, buddy?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. So, I'm away for one episode, and it just all falls to shit.
It does. Everything goes to hell. I developed some kind of just massive problem where I just can't sleep. Novel Bro is getting nosebleeds over here like a cocaine addict. Discord hates me instead of hating you.
Novel Bro legitimately, his nose started bleeding just in the middle of the stream.
I couldn't hear the guest, right? Like, we had Rick Piper on to talk Canadian Shield, which is in its last 20-something hours, last day worth of campaign before its extension. So check that out, you guys. But I had him on. We got on early enough to do a sound check. Everything was fine. I start the show. The intro music just cuts the fuck out. It doesn't work anymore. I can't hear the guest. Discord has to update. Takes 10 minutes to even get any fucking audio to the audience after we got on specifically to test the audio. It was fantastic. So I got Novel Bro to jump in the room with me for a minute to make sure that I could at least hear somebody. And I'll be damned if within probably an hour his fucking nose starts bleeding for no reason. But the man was a goddamn absolute legend. He's like, I'll be right back, and goes and handles the fucking nosebleed and gets back in the goddamn call.
That explains why he's been getting so much writing done. It is a bunch of cocaine.
It is a bunch of cocaine. I mean, not to spill your secret there, but that's kind of an open secret of writers is massive amounts of blow. But
and cigarettes.
Oh yeah. Oh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, for the yawning and whatnot.
I'm glad it wasn't eventful.
Dillard, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for coming on last night and helping me helm the show. Also, I got home. I had some dinner. I had the show set up. This is today. I had the show set up a little early. And I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go catch a little nap. I'm gonna take a short nap, guys. And I just kind of fell into a coma that I was unable to be woken from until I just kind of snapped out of it 15 minutes late for the show. Didn't even get to have my pre-show cigarette. I don't have a drink. Nothing is set up. I didn't review the book. Like, I didn't flip back through it like I normally do before. Whew. I am 100% prepared for this, ladies and gentlemen. But we are here. Whether we ever get to week 5 of 52, I'm not sure. But we are here.
We might just have to skip week 5 altogether and just move on to week 6.
Week 5 never happened. It got lost. No, we got to do week 5.
We do.
So that is why we are here. That is what the purpose of this endeavor is. Whether you guys enjoy it or not, we have committed. It is happening. Probably hate it. I don't care anymore. You're gonna deal. I'm kidding, obviously. You can tell me you hate it. It's not. Dillard took his shirt off. That's always a good sign in my book.
Always.
I'm imagining his nipples like jutting directly through the wall, and that makes me happy. He came on for the second half of the show to just talk some shit with us, and we watched Minnie Mouse. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, sleep.
All right.
And, without being told. Yeah, yeah. Basically, one of these days, I'm just gonna stack my two little girls on top of one another, like in the old cartoons, and just put them in a trench coat, just like one on the shoulders of the other, so it's just like an extremely tall toddler. I'm gonna send them to work for me, and they're gonna, just spend all day trying to figure out why the torso is telling them no, and the top half like dessert plates. How's it going, Matt Christie? Jesus Christ, Billy. My nipples shoot dessert plates, so we got that going for us. Actually, my nipples are candles, if you believe the artwork.
I was gonna say yours are
on
luminous.
Fire. My nipples are on fire, just like in real life. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm not even sure where I am anymore. I had to turn notifications off for one of my tweets. I put out a Trump bumper sticker based on the Al-Qaeda show the other day, and that thing just kept bleep, 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 bleep for the first little while. It looks like it's died down now, but I was just like, oh God. And then I saw that Trump had retweeted Ian Miles Chung, and I was like, oh God, now I don't want him to retweet this. He's obviously got poor taste in retweeting people.
But it would be glorious if he did.
I don't know, man. Maybe he should just steal the tweet. Fuck retweeting. The girls will never go for that. You don't know, Erica. I mean, Dillard's a very hard to catch ladies man. He shows up to the bar with $8.41 and poaches on girls that have already gotten drunk. Call that one a Trumper sticker. Yeah. I am a pariah at pool parties. Oh man, yeah. I had a buddy who he would always have like cookouts and shit, and he had a pool in his house, and he would never get in the pool if his dad came over to the cookout because he had his nipples pierced and his dad didn't know. Now, mind you, this guy was like 45 years old. Oh, jeez. Now, back me up on this, Ayrton. You were at a bar last night, seeking some company of morally ambiguous ladies, and
well, more I was going out to to play music. That's just the secondary.
Sure it is, yeah, because we don't learn how to do things like play music and make money to entice women. We do them. We do it because we do it because it's really not all we want to do is to sit at home in our underwear and drink beer under a fucking box fan all day.
Hey, it's the simplicities in life that matter.
Like going out to the bar to pick up dubious women. But Dillard and I were having a conversation, and he was like, dating was the worst. Dating was the worst fucking thing in the world. And dry cracked feet, his horrendous franken toe. Yeah. I mean, you should be aware of your terrible feet. But going out to bars is probably the worst part about being single. I think we came to the agreement of, and we were lamenting on the idea of you get your paycheck, especially once you become like a real adult. You know what I mean?
Right.
You get your paycheck and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I've got my bills paid, I've got food for the month. Let me see how much I have to go out this weekend and have a little bit of fun. Maybe try and find some companionship. Right? You look at your bank account,
right,
and you have $8.41, which is exactly enough for one shot and one beer. So you have to show up and find the girl who has already been gotten drunk by someone else and rejected, and really just hope you're more charming than they are.
That's fair.
I mean, have you ever had to do any of this? Is this ringing a bell?
I haven't had to do that one.
Oh well, you haven't lived, sir.
The worst one though was getting dragged to one of those goddamn like loud flashy light dance clubs. Why am I echoing?
Probably because I had to take my headset off for just a second.
And
very loud.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So yeah, the dance club place. It was just. I had a gay guy come hit on me. There was like some chick in like a see-through-ish shirt thing that she shouldn't have been wearing. Like, there should definitely been a barrier between that visual. Yeah.
Like a police cruiser.
All kinds of. Yeah. What else? People asking me if I had various kinds of drugs on me, just because I have long hair.
Wait, you don't.
And I'm just standing there.
You don't just carry around various drugs? Like, you can't just hook me up with some mescaline on the run?
Yeah, not typically.
Oh man, I gotta find a new co-host. I gotta find somebody more useful than you. That was part of the draw. You just look like the kind of guy that had drugs.
The funniest part is
look at your profile.
There's all these people. There's all these people and like all crazy and shit. And I'm standing there and like, because I pretty much just always wear jeans, cowboy boots, and a flannel shirt. Like that's my everyday dress pretty much. And I'm in there just like that. And there's people doing this weird, like they're booty dancing and shit.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So to make the people that dragged me there feel uncomfortable, I just start like headbanging.
That's just when I take my pants off.
And shit like that. Yeah.
You just take your pants off at the table and you lay them on top of the table while you're still sitting there. And you say, well, this can go one of two ways.
Oh, there were no tables.
Oh, then that makes it better, but you just look at them.
It's one of those places.
Yeah, you just look at them and you explain, like, this can go one of two ways. Either I'm going out there like this or we're leaving. Dillard Draw says he will jump onto a table performing karaoke, which I found out the other day that apparently the Japanese call karaoke.
I would love to. Can you make that a tier for the buckler? Like somebody can go out to karaoke with you?
I told Rick Piper, yes, teleconference them in. Just, secure a tablet and with a mobile connection and just teleconference them into your karaoke. That'd be great. But I told him Rick Piper needs a tier where you don't get a comic, but you do get a handwritten apology from Rick Piper and a jar of Canadian Shield maple syrup.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I would pay for that.
Yeah, it was a good time. And it only took 15, 20 minutes to get it up and running because you weren't here for the Discord to take its anger out on. I think that's what it is. I think the Discord just rebels when you're not here to just lash out at someone.
Well, it's good to be appreciated, I guess.
Yeah. You're appreciated by a program developed by furries. You've made it in life, Ayrton.
I guess it's time for me to just roll over and die. It's been a good run.
Yeah, just go let somebody infected with coronavirus cough in your mouth. You're done.
Exactly. Man, now I'm gonna have to go out to a bar tomorrow night and try and find an Asian chick just to try and get the coronavirus.
That's right. There's
not many Asians around. There's not many Asians around these parts.
Just take the buy one get 3 free mail order bride deal that they got going on right now.
True.
But
do they have like express shipping on that?
I don't know. I think everything coming out of China is going to be too. I think everything coming out of China.
Is there Prime free shipping?
No, not at all.
No.
Everything coming out of China costs at least like 8 face masks, and it's going to be like 6 to 12 weeks. But I don't know. Did you see the newest terrifying piece of information to come out of that?
Which one?
Oh, the fact that supposedly Tencent, the company that owns everything in China, has supposedly leaked some numbers that they weren't supposed to, and those numbers once translated lead to. I heard the coronavirus is not very. It's just a flu, bro. Calm down.
Yeah.
But
that's what Eugene told us.
Yeah. But that chart, when translated, says that 154,000 confirmed cases and 24,000 dead, and this was February 1st.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all gonna die.
So, I mean, and those numbers make sense for a continent with 1 billion people and a city with 11 million in it that's in the middle of an epidemic. Those numbers actually make sense.
Yeah.
With as terrifying as this news has been, and the fact that the entire city looks like a ghost town, and everybody's like, yeah, the crematorium's been working double overtime.
Right.
Somebody on 4chan came out and did the math based on the SO2 emissions above Wuhan. They've got to be burning close to like 15,000 bodies that started to create those emissions.
Jeez.
And the numbers kind of add up when you look at the numbers that were released. So I don't know what to tell you, man.
I mean, we're all screwed.
Yeah. But no, John Dillard in the chat. I've heard the coronavirus is not very harmful. You're absolutely right. It definitely did not have a 6.6 mortality rate as of February the 4th, first, if you believe the leaks from today. It definitely is not just making people legitimately murder their animals by throwing them out of the windows of their homes because they're barred in and scared that the dog can get them sick now. No, it's fine.
Oh, jeez.
How's it going, Rick Piper? It's good. We were just lamenting on the fact that you still don't have a maple syrup here. But don't worry, I'm working on a design for Maple Shield, the Canadian maple syrup and healthcare provider.
Does he go around in blackface? Is that part of his costume?
No. Maple Shield is the. Ooh, you know what? The bottle could be like Justin Trudeau, only transparent, so it shows through the brown maple syrup. That's good. I like that.
You're welcome.
I don't think Rick Piper wants to be associated with Justin Trudeau, though. Those aren't good optics.
Probably not.
We'll get Boris Johnson. We'll get Boris Johnson from the UK.
There we go.
Nigel Farage. He's only like 6 degrees from Trump, you know. Anyway.
The British Shield.
I'm just vamping
of
right
a British spinoff.
Yeah, maple syrup vaccine for Corona. That's right. It's Lyme disease, Chad Middleton.
I thought it was...
That's the joke. Lyme disease. Ah.
I thought the cure was copious amounts of alcohol.
They came out and said that once you were treated, that you weren't necessarily cured. You could get it again.
Lovely.
Yeah,
lovely.
There was a baby born with this shit. I mean, like literally, it went through a mother and into an unborn baby.
So, I saw that one. Yeah. So it's basically herpes. Like, you can treat it, but you still always have it.
Well, that's basically every virus there. Most people just don't realize.
Well,
you're still carrying around the first colds you ever got. Every flu shot you've got just lingering inside of you like a little time bomb.
I've never gotten a shot.
Me either, but they tell you you're supposed to every year, which is why I don't do it.
Yeah, except the flu virus mutates every year, and the vaccines they make are from the flu virus from the previous year, so it's literally useless against the current flu virus.
Yeah,
but that's besides the point.
I'm vamping until I'm actually conscious enough. I'm still suppressing yawns.
Yeah, Church woke up 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, I've been awake for 7 minutes, and we've been on the air for 21. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jesus. But I knew that if we didn't get to it, that I'm not doing a show tomorrow night because it's my second D&D session, which we will talk about this weekend, and probably not doing a show Friday night. So, if we do 2 weeks back to back, then, we've already lost. We've already lost. Technically, we are 4 days late on doing this episode. That is entirely my fault, but I am blaming Ayrton and probably a deity of your choosing, depending on what religion you are or are not. Just pick the deity that offends you the most, and that's who I'm blaming. So,
Allah.
Okay, yes, I blame Allah for Ayrton. Anybody else want to chip in? Who's their go-to guy? I blame them or girl. If you're like that. But anyway, I'm gonna let you tell the people about your evening last night. I'm gonna go try and find some kind of beverage to wet the old whistle, and when I return, we will.
All right.
We will jump into 52 week 5. Have you got the stream up by chance?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave this image that, again, reminding everybody in the last pitch of Cross Comics. We do have another crowdfund campaign to talk about. We can talk about that when I get back. But for right now, everybody should think about Cross Comics, the Canadian Shield #1. If you back at the $300 tier, you will get this full-page splash original artwork as a bonus from Mr. John Dillard, because
hell yeah,
he's such a magnanimous individual. And
ooh, that's a big word.
Yeah. I pulled that one out of the I'm still asleep hat. But I know words. But anyway. Everybody check that out. Go check out the Canadian Shield #1 on Indiegogo. If you missed that last night, go back and watch it. And if you missed our first interview with Mr. Rick Piper, go back and watch that too. Pause the stream, go back and watch both of those streams, and then come back and watch this stream.
No, don't do that. Stay here live with us. Go watch them after for the context.
No.
Come on, Church. What are you doing?
Here's the thing. If they all leave, I can go back to sleep, Ayrton. You shut the fuck up. Because once they're all here, I feel obligated to stay. I can't just let my Oh, Sex Brobot, the Church of Vibrating Pleasure. That is correct. It's the first person to back at that level. Yep. So Rick Piper has an amazing wish list, and if anybody buys anything from that list, I will be giving away a 5x7 commission to the purchaser of anything they want.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Send us a link.
Oh man, just go throw down $300, and then back at an additional $50 level and demand a handwritten apology and a jar of maple syrup. I mean, Anyway.
I mean, I wish I had the extra $1,500 to get the in-person handing of the comic.
That's right.
Probably the coolest tier that I've seen on an Indiegogo that we've looked at. I love that.
Well, you tell them about your night. You entertain the people, and if you're lucky, I'll be back. Otherwise, I'm gonna go drink some very smooth bourbon and crawl in bed with my wife. You never know. Could be back. I could just leave the stream up. You don't know.
That's fair. This will be interesting. Cross your fingers, everybody.
I'll be back.
Yeah. So. Local bar here on Tuesdays has an open mic night that's, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of, groovy people that play there and stuff. So I like going up there, and I haven't gone the past few weeks because I've been working on some new material, and I'd finally gotten down the original version of Sweet Home Chicago by the great Robert Johnson. If you guys are interested in hearing that, I have a video up on my YouTube channel of my rendition of that. So, yeah, I told Church, I kind of want to go out and play this. So, yeah, it was a good set. Had some fun, found some really good bourbon, which is what Church was referring to, smooth bourbon.
What you should do is you should pause the stream and go watch that video.
Ironically enough, the bourbon is actually called.
Did you just
No, I'm 74.
Groovy?
Thank you very much. Yes, I did say groovy.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? Cool beans, groovy.
I don't know.
Where did you get your goddamn lexicon? 1952?
Hey, I just bought a car from 1971. So what do you think?
Good God! So it was new when you were a boy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh God. Actually, Dillard, if you look in the description, Ayrton's YouTube channel should still be in there. Nope, it's short link.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, fix
Here,
it.
give me a second. I'll link it. Hold on.
Share your goddamn channel so they can leave and stop listening to me. I can slink away into the shadows. Who knows what? Sorry.
Okay. Copy link.
Yeah, if you I think you can post links in the chat. If you can't,
looks like it.
I'm talking to Dillard. If you can't, DM it to me on Twitter or Discord, and I'll put it in there for you.
Hey, and just be happy that I didn't say groovy cats, because I also say that too.
If you ever, I will literally come to Michigan and beat the shit out of you. As a bro.
I mean, I hang out with jazz and blues musicians. That's just how we talk. I can't help it.
You're fired.
Early this week, folks. He just fucked it all up for everybody. One of these days I'm going to do that, and he's just going to leave the stream and just leave me fucking hanging out. And I'm going to be like, I guess I deserve that. I'm surprised it took this long. Good on him, man. Good for him. He finally stopped taking my abuse. Now it's time to go beg for him back and tell him that it'll never happen again. You just shouldn't make me that mad.
I mean, at least it's not as bad as me falling asleep right before the show and showing up like 10 minutes in and being like half awake and barely cognizant of what was going on. So,
are you taking a jab at me? Literally, what happened?
No, I literally did that. When was that? Saturday?
Saturday, yeah. Dan Aykroyd did it better. True facts, Dillard.
That's fair.
John Belushi also did it better, but R.I.P. that guy. Well, who was the one that didn't do it better? John Goodman. John Goodman was okay.
Ooh, yeah.
He was okay.
Yeah, no, I can't. Can't take that one.
Not your Blues Brothers. Anyway, so you finished your bar story? I don't think you did.
Yeah. Oh, well, I
don't think you finished.
Well, I found a new bourbon. Ironically enough, called 3 Chord. They had a 12-year. It was good as fuck. It was like, was it $12 a shot? So I just got a double on the rocks and just sipped it throughout the night.
Okay.
But and some gravy fries, which was no showmanship. I still had my shirt on through the entire song.
That's right. While you were there eating gravy fries, we were talking about protein on the show.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, Rick, Dillard, you have to pay for that one.
Yeah, that's a Patreon tier. Sign up for $15 or more, and I'll make Ayrton get as naked as you want.
Once I figure out how to get a PayPal set up, so I can get a cut of that,
No, do it now. It's fine. It's fine. I just gave him a raise. He only had to pay me $4 a day instead of $5. That is true, folks. If it ever comes out that Ayrton hasn't received any money from the Patreon at this point, I have told him month after month, set up a Patreon. Or not a Patreon, set up a PayPal. Set up a PayPal. Hey, set up a PayPal. And he's just like, if I can figure out how to do it, I'm like, how am I supposed to send you money? Like, because if he doesn't have a PayPal, he damn sure doesn't have a Venmo or a Cash App.
Okay, I have. Hold on. What is it? So I downloaded Venmo. I still haven't figured out how to use it yet, though.
Dillard's like, I got money. That's right, buddy. Once a month, I'll make Ayrton get naked for you. $15. It'll be like those awkward photos in the hearing with Harvey Weinstein. Someone will just hand you some photos and you'll be like, I asked for this. Why did I ask for this?
Exactly. And Dillard, that the photos that you will receive will make you very uncomfortable.
I don't know that anything can make him any more uncomfortable than he makes himself and everyone else.
Oh, no, I'll go all out. I know several professional photographers. We'll do like a full, like one of those boudoir shoots.
Hey, now you're actually talking. I might have to make it a higher Patreon tier. I will need to send it through carrier pigeon. Passenger pigeon been extinct since 1942. No refunds.
I will send them. Oh no! What's the sunblock stuff where like it's the kid with the dog like pulling their swim trunks down?
That quote that I who can figure out what that was? I bet you are Panama Red. So, yeah, that's kind of been the short.
Sorry.
Put your camera on the floor and squat over it. You know what I want. Put the camera on the floor, spread your cheeks, and lift your sack.
No. Now, do you like your dirty pictures the way I like my women? No pubic hair, or you want it like full?
Oh no,
full
man.
hairy ass down there.
Oh god, yeah, you gotta go full. You gotta go full on. Yeah. In fact,
that reminds me of a story. Sorry. So a friend of mine, she had this creepy guy bugging her on I don't know, Instagram or Snapchat or something, asking for nudes, and her cat was standing next to her, on her couch or whatever. So she took a picture of her cat's butthole, right up close.
Yeah, like you do.
With her phone, and sent it to him. It's like, okay, here you go, and he never responded.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, what is this show turned into?
I don't know.
Does this make you my pimp now? I don't know how I feel about that.
No, because I'm not paying you still. Because you can't set up a fucking PayPal. Technically, I'm just your middleman. I don't like secret shave that ditty. Jesus Christ. I hate everything about all of this. I should have just stayed in bed.
But I am loving everything about all of this.
I know that's what's scary. That's what's scary.
Okay, let's jump into week 5.
I'm still going to get something to drink. I still haven't done that. I heard Groovy from across the room and turned around. So I'm going to go finish that little thought experiment, and I'll actually be back.
Okay.
So don't say anything dumb while I'm gone, and I'll actually be able to finish.
That's what she said.
It is exactly what she said, isn't it?
Okay. I'm gonna check out this Amazon wish list real quick while church is gone. Okay. Some sort of ink refill in the color of Nile blue. An eraser. Some pen refills. I was expecting something just stupid in here. Come on, Rick. You don't have anything just ridiculous in here? That would have been awesome. Just a sack of potatoes or something? Yeah. You could have had so much more fun with that. I wish I could actually show you guys pull things up on stream. Is this a pen for $12.50? That better be a really nice pen. Oh, let's see. 0.7 millimeter black pen. Huh.
All right.
For $12.50, does it have an auto suck function?
What is it?
Oh, I pulled up Rick's Amazon with. Sorry, Discord spazzed on me.
See? I told you. As long as you're here.
Did you even talk about a comic yet? No. No, we have not.
Yes, we have.
We talked about your comic.
We talked about your comic, absolutely. What are you saying, Rick? I mean, do you not like us promoting your work here?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, you don't want to be associated with this.
Not anymore.
Yeah, we go against all those moral values that he holds dear. I've insulted every major deity since I've come on this show, but I do that every time that I wake up. So, what are you looking at on this here wish list? I got it pulled up for the viewers at home.
Oh, I was looking through Rick's Amazon. Yeah. I was looking at the $12.50 pen.
Dude, comic artists need good tools.
I was just curious if it had an auto suck function. That's all.
No, a $12 pen is cheap.
Really?
Yes.
I just steal them from like the bank and shit.
Those aren't. Yeah. Dillard, please set this man straight. Like, I can't even explain to him. Like, I carry a pen around, usually in my shirt pocket every day, so that I can, sign a check, sign for a package, jot down a note, whatever needs to happen during the course of my work day. And even I go out of my way to go to Office Depot and purchase a like $3 or $4 quick drying, smooth writing ink pen, because ink pens that you get for like free places when you actually want to doodle something or sketch something, like, get at me in DMs, John. I might have something to put towards that art supply fund. We'll discuss terms privately, because real men don't talk business in public. But yeah, get at me in DMs. I got some money coming in.
And Chad's reminding us that includes a nude of Rick.
It better. That's what I was going to ask for in my 5x7. Thanks, Chad. Now everybody's gonna take my idea. I want him to draw me like one of his French girls.
What is this show anymore?
Fun. It's fun.
True. See, Chad, this is why we can't have nice things.
Good Lord. But I can't even. But we did have another campaign to talk about that I was going to talk about when I finish getting my beverage.
Right.
I don't know if you saw this earlier when we were talking about it in the Discord, but you see Richard C. Myers' new campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Did you? The Expendables.
Yeah, didn't you send that to me a couple days ago?
Probably.
Or did I stumble upon it a couple days ago? I don't know. One of the two.
Quite literally, I've had like 4 hours of sleep since Saturday, so I don't know. I mean, I'm literally held together by caffeine and evil right now.
Fair enough.
But caffeine, B12, and just sheer hatred. But that's the thing. Like, indie crowdfunded comics nabbed a name like Sly, and you got Chuck Dixon.
Fucking crazy.
Your boy Zach. There's $1,000 tier to get a Sylvester Stallone signed copy. 5 people have already bought.
One of them is Ethan Van Sciver.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, he said on Twitter that he bought one of those.
Oh, okay.
Or backed that tier. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm not spending another man's money. I don't care. I mean, Nick Recato went to Bubba Fest strictly to get Chuck Norris's autograph. What am I to say what these men do with their money?
I mean, wouldn't you?
Hell yeah. You know, we got to get Rick out to a convention so that I can show up in a full church costume with a Pope hat, and we can just get him shirtless by the end of the night after 4 drinks.
See,
singing karaoke.
That idea sounds fun, but I'm scared as to what you would request me to wear to a convention.
Where?
Exactly.
Where do you think he's going to cash in on his Patreon donation? He had me make a new tier that included a night in a hotel room. I'm kidding. I'm not pimping out my co-host. It goes against terms of service. These are jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
We didn't get banned from YouTube yet, but we got banned from Patreon.
Basically. I'm sorry, Patreon. Dick Masterson, answer my email about New Project 2, please. Please answer my email about New Project 2. Oh man. But anyway, yeah, the Expendables, that looks really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I never was one for the movies, not because, they didn't look awesome, but because I don't watch movies like I should. But the fact that the fact that there's a comic book based on that movie franchise now, and you boy Zach.
And the fact that it's and the fact that's a Comicsgate book,
right?
More or less.
But no, I'm excited about this one. But I wanted to bring that up since we talked about it in the Discord. And I suppose now, finally, we can get into the pure meat of the show where we talk about DC's 52.
All right. Get over that. Okay.
So, I don't know. I think we talked about this briefly earlier in the week. But I just... What in the world is that? Something just turned on in my home, and I'm not sure what it is.
You have ghosts.
Probably. This is an appliance that I'm just not used to hearing. But, did a convention here in Hamilton.
Nice.
Get back, I'm going to take a shower. I stink. I know that life.
Well, you better shower before that Patreon tier.
I like how you're just slowly but surely accepting that this is inevitable. How's it going, critters? So, wait a minute. What is up on my... Oh, okay. Boards, bags, computers. We gotta get you a computer too. What's it gonna take to bring you into the
2000s? You say that, and I was literally just checking eBay the other day for an old original Razor flip phone, just to see how much they were. I'm not kidding. I'm being 100% serious.
Oh man, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm sitting here saying, what is it going to take to get him a laptop that he can actually, at least half-ass stream from, and
I mean, I have a laptop. It's just old and barely works.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said you can half-ass stream from
it. And I don't have a proper internet connection where I'm at.
I know. I'm doing the math, and I'm just like, I'm like, probably $500-600 for a laptop. You got to get them on internet. That's going to cost money. Probably need to get him a decent headset.
And my headset's pretty good.
Yeah, but will it work in a laptop?
I don't know. It's Bluetooth.
Oh,
so I guess
if a laptop has Bluetooth, then yes.
Or actually, I do have a microphone that can, like a proper microphone that can plug in to a computer and just plug headphones into the back of the microphone.
Oh man. I never thought in a million years that I would be doing a show with someone who is just so technologically defunct. And somehow we still make it work. Like quite literally, I just imagine
exactly
the other end of this show. You're just yelling into something wrapped up in masking tape with rubber tubing.
Not anymore. Like my sister got me a pretty decent Bluetooth headset for Christmas. So
okay. Okay. All right. Let me go this list. Oh yeah, Hong Kong flu was predicted by The Simpsons. I saw that. Child of God sandwich, yes. What is even going on in general?
Church rubs temples.
Get a survey for your content. How satisfied are you with this notification? Probably not very. Not very. The first thing it says is late
below there. Please be nice to us.
I'll fucking be honest. We're awful. All right. It church rubs temples. That's correct. That is correct. It works on so many levels. It's just a sound I just make now associated with this show. Just oh God, really? Anyway.
Is it associated with the show or just me in general?
Oh man, like I said, I can't talk that bad about you anymore. The show just falls apart without you. Quite literally, there's nothing good that comes from you not being here. Anyway, let's get through this review real quick. I didn't like this issue. First of all, it was very wordy. There was not a lot going on in it. There was a lot of exposition, and I did like the fact that you got, kind of an idea of what happened in the aftermath of Final Crisis. But at the same time, it just wasn't a very exciting issue. There was no big conflict. The storylines didn't really seem to progress that much. This really just kind of seemed to serve as a placeholder issue almost for me.
Yeah, and with me not reading Final Crisis, I kind of liked a little bit of that exposition because it kind of brought me kind of more into speed of kind of where we are in the DC universe. And I always like when Alan Scott shows up because we don't really hear much from him anymore.
Well, we found out in this issue that Alan Scott is carrying around an eye that doesn't even belong to him. He lost his other one somewhere in the middle of a Zeta Beam transport, but he shows up here to talk to Ellie Baker, the wife of Buddy Baker, and that's the Animal Man, for those that don't know. And the Animal Man is basically the champion of the Red, I guess you would call it, the Animal Force, back when DC was trying to make a Speed Force for every superpower set. It never really went anywhere, but the red and the green kind of stuck around.
The Bat Force.
There was the red, the green, the black, which was the force of death or whatever. But Alan Scott shows up, and he's there to say, hey, your husband hasn't turned up. And, in sheer hopefulness, I guess you'd call it, she's like, but that doesn't mean he's dead. He could still be alive. And you kind of feel that because It's almost like, having somebody lost at war, or just lost on an expedition or something like that. Like, you don't want to believe the worst, obviously, and sometimes it's hard to
Right.
accept. So you really did kind of feel the emotion of that sequence. Um, but I just don't feel like it was followed in really good fashion, because almost immediately after that, well, before I get into it, like, what were your overall thoughts of the first sequence? Obviously, you're a bigger Alan Scott fan than I am. I like Alan Scott. He's not my
Yeah.
favorite Green Lantern, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, he's not my favorite. I just like I like when he shows up. It's kind of an interesting, different, like, kind of Green Lantern lore and everything. But we'll get into that when we do our Green Lantern specific episode.
Yeah.
You know, was definitely like, it was cool to see him show up. Like, I kind of see where they were going with it. Like, okay, is he gonna be alive? Is he not? I figure he probably is, just based on, like, the way the foreshadowing was written. Um, yeah, and I think I'm trying to remember it's been several days since I actually first read this, and I also did not flip back through it before the show.
Okay, good.
But I thought it was a good enough opening, especially from, like, the last issues last week, I guess, the cliffhanger.
Yeah, the cliffhanger, it doesn't really feel like it pays off here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it doesn't pay off here.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from. It's just, having read it before as a standalone issue, like, if this is where you came into this book, as opposed to, like, one of the earlier issues, I just don't know that
right.
this is enough to captivate you to go back.
You would be very confused.
And you wouldn't necessarily be enticed to go back and catch up either. That's the main problem that I have with it. But in any event,
I'll give you that.
as soon as everything basically goes down with Alan Scott, and Ellie Baker unravels the banner, and you switch over to a news broadcast that's happening throughout Metropolis, and possibly several other parts of the world. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure this is just Metropolis that we're seeing. Where Lex Luthor is advertising the ability to make anybody a superhero. Now, this comes right on the heels of you coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, all those evil things that happened, that was my evil twin that's dead now. By the way, you can get superpowers from me if you want them, wink wink." I don't know, it just undermines that whole thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see what he's doing. Like, trying to undermine the superpowered folk
Right.
in in the DC universe, and you're kind of seeing, like, I can kind of see some, like, he has some bigger scheme besides just being acquitted for being an asshole.
Yeah.
But the Incredibles did that in what, 2006 or whatever that movie came out.
Can I just say that the Incredibles have always been the best Fantastic Four movies?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Something that Marvel and Fox were never able to get right. Disney just pulled off effortlessly in a fail swoop. They even added a super baby that was more powerful than any other character in the Incredibles universe, just like Franklin Richards. and they made it fun.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta love the Super Baby.
Yeah, Jack, he's the best. It used to be this little money sink Disney game that my wife and I played for a little while. We didn't put money into it, but we would do our daily quest and everything, and join guilds and whatnot. And you could acquire certain Disney and Pixar characters to basically become a fighting team to get you through certain levels. And man,
okay.
Jack was a bad motherfucker on there. But this all culminates in Steel putting on his armor and getting a call to report to a hospital to basically help with the incoming like superheroes that were affected by the Zeta Wave transport at the end of the last issue. So this is the section where you kind of get a little bit of an update on what was happening and where these two characters got fused together. Cyborg and Firestorm were the two characters. God damn it! I keep clicking on that damn Amazon link because it's right above the page button. Sorry, guys. I'm telling you, I'm so tired. Hopefully now that Marvel has Fantastic Four back, they'll get the Fantastic Four right. I don't know. In Before the Thing is somehow a woman now. But hey, look, that's the way shit's going. But anyway, you get a little exposition on what happened. The two characters merged together. That was Cyborg and Firestorm. Hawkgirl is 25 feet tall. Alan Scott, like we mentioned earlier, he's walking around with one eye that isn't his and one eye missing. It was pretty terrible. But, what they're saying is that Adam Strange, Animal Man, and Starfire haven't returned. One of the characters, Mal Duncan, has been merged with several cybernetic parts of the human tornado, and he pops awake at the end of the segment. Well, first off, they talk about telepathic contact, and Alan Scott kind of gets an idea of everything that happened, and then,
which is a really cool.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful splash
I will
page.
to say.
I'd pull that up. That's on me. I'll pull that up.
Yeah.
Alan Scott uses some kind of telepathic. And does he always have this? Is that a thing that his ring does, or? Because I don't know a lot about Alan Scott. I knew his powers were magic based, but
yeah. Well, he's his powers are the one where the weakness to wood and stuff comes from. But I don't remember him having telepathic specific powers. I'll have to look that one up. Hold on. Oh, don't do that.
But before we go further with this scene, because we will come back to it, we step over to Gotham City and you see Renee Montoya recovering from her little scuffle with a monster. Am I that far? Oh, I am that far behind. Okay, there we go. Making sure everybody had a chance to see the splash before I took it down. You see Renee Montoya after her little scuffle with the monster. She's, basically bullshitting her way out of the fact that she's involved in some shit she shouldn't be, as according to the Gotham Police Department. But we also see that she's still carrying around that alien blaster weapon for protection. And that's pretty much all the Renee Montoya we get in this episode, in this issue, if I'm not mistaken. And
that's about it.
She's one of my favorite sidelines in this whole series to begin with. But We cut back over to where Mal Duncan just went into cardiac arrest in the hospital with Alan Scott and Steele, and Steele essentially uses himself as a conductor to bring Mal Duncan back to life, and he starts screaming 52, and the Red Tornado's voice box starts going
on the nose.
Yeah, it starts going, it's coming. Well, this is before DC started using the number 52 for literally everything. Like, this is the first iteration of it. This is where it started. So, I'll give this one to them. But, because of this whole ordeal, all of the glass is blown out of the hospital. It, I mean, it's a cool scene, but I'd much rather all of this had been replaced with like another Booster Gold fight or something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but you get the announcement of 52, and then Alan Scott explains that was what the Red Tornado was talking about before everything went to shit, and then you cut over to space in week 5, day 7. So we skipped most of the days this week, and that's another thing that pisses me off about this issue. I don't know if you knew I was going to say that or not, but it's pretty bad.
Oh, I figured you would.
But we cut over to some kind of like alien paradise planet, and Starfire swimming naked, and Animal Man just standing there instead of oogling her.
Not reacting to her being naked.
Yeah, it's very very interesting. Like, I didn't understand at first what was going on here, but you'll figure it out as the story goes on. Like, there's a reason everybody's acting the way they are. But she's lamenting that everything here is like a paradise, and he's sitting there like, I just want to get home to my family. I'm not used to all this space shit. This isn't like my bag. I just came to help. I'm ready to go home now. And then you cut over to Adam Strange, and the revelation in the issue is one of the eyes that Alan Scott has is probably his. Like, the one eye that Alan Scott has is probably Adam Strange's, because Adam Strange doesn't have any fucking eyes. We get that up on screen.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out a way.
And that they're not alone.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out a way off the planet, and Animal Man basically explains, like, look, I still have my powers, and there's something stalking us here, and I really don't want to be on this planet when the suns go down. And that's the end of the issue. So
yeah, because the sun's also been setting for
like 2 weeks,
like a while, right?
Yeah, like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the issue, and that's kind of where my issue comes in, is that it went really quickly, and it was mostly exposition. Like, there was not a lot, like, besides that little bit of just jazz in the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. But like the exposition was nice for me. Like, it kind of, for a bit, it's been kind of like, okay, like I'm kind of following, but some of the backstory stuff, like, I don't know because I didn't read it. So the exposition was a nice kind of, like, after all this other like crazy stuff has been going on, like, it was kind of a nice break to kind of like get that sort of catch up with where we're at in the story. So I think the placement of this issue, from my perspective, for someone like me, is pretty good, because I've been hooked into the overall story, but I still don't really understand everything that's got us there. So having kind of this issue like at this point, after I'm already kind of hooked into reading on, it's a nice little like break, kind of like, okay, get some of this out of the way. All right, I kind of know what led up to this a little bit better now. So, and I kind of can see where we're at in the universe at the time.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, in 22 pages, I feel like you could have accomplished that and had Booster at least punching a guy, or maybe.
You just want to see Booster punch somebody.
Well, not just that. Like, maybe check back in with Black Adam. What's going on with that guy?
Yeah, I mean, I did also like how they kind of cut back to Renee, because so far I'm kind of with you on that one. Her arc has been the most interesting to me. Booster is kind of intriguing too, but overall, I don't know why, but I'm just really fascinated about what they're doing with her.
Yeah.
But
well, that's because the Question is the best character ever.
That's fair.
It's not Renee that makes the story interesting. It's a question's going to pop up randomly. You never know when.
That's true. But I'm not saying it's a great issue. Like, I enjoyed it enough, and I think the placement of it and what it accomplished was well done for where it was in the story. So that's kind of my takeaway. Not like great, but I enjoyed it because of that exposition. It gave me a chance to catch up, and if they would have stretched it out like issue 12, at that point I would have been like, I don't even care about this at this point because I've been reading so far in. But this early in the series, putting that exposition in, I think is a good call.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through, and they don't really address it, but they did say that week 5 was the writing team's like first procedural departure. And they did an excerpt off the script, but I don't know. I just, like I said, it's not my favorite issue. It's not the worst issue in the book. Don't get me wrong. As we go through this, there will be other issues that definitely take the crown for, God, this just didn't even have to happen at all. There'll be like little pieces of certain issues that you're like, well, that could have been used better. But overall, I think the story still stands up. And my favorite part about this is that,
and like I said, it's the placement that doesn't bother me. If this would have been like issue 30, I would have been like, what the fuck is this? Who cares at this point? But because they did it so early, it's not as like all the exposition and kind of slower pace and like less action is kind of like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. And what I will say is that it does a really good job of explaining why so many characters are just kind of out of the playing field. Why we're getting the focal point on these characters and not these characters. Like, it gives you a kind of a background. Needed more Naked Starfire. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I guess, and it almost kind of feels like that was thrown in to just kind of make up for the fact that this was a boring issue. And it just felt really weird until you read further in the story. Like, it starts to make sense, but it feels really strange right here. Like, it just doesn't work for me at this point.
Yeah, and I guess the biggest question is, was that on purpose to kind of make it feel kind of weird?
Probably.
And a little uncomfortable, and they pay it off way later, or did they write the payoff because of the way this was written? So there's kind of that question you have to kind of balance out too.
I don't think they were that far ahead in the writing process. I don't think I think it was probably a lot more of a labor to put a book out like this weekly. I don't know that you can get that far ahead, maybe an issue or two. But anyway, no, overall, I mean, the story, obviously, I wouldn't have recommended it if it just kind of went to shit after issue 5. So, some of the payoffs that you're going to get through the next 47 weeks are, they're definitely worth the price of admission. But this is one issue that it feels like I would rather be reviewing issue 6 right now. Now, issue 6 is a lot more action packed. You get a lot more. You still get some exposition with some other characters and some characters that we specifically like. But you don't get just all of the monotony of the first issue or the 5th issue. And there's a lot of really cool Easter eggs in the next issue.
It definitely feels like a setup issue. So, let's see. Rick, from what I heard, they planned it all out ahead of time.
They planned it all out, but
true.
They didn't script it all out. I mean, they might have had the payoff in mind, but I don't think this was an accident putting this here. Like, I don't think it just felt awkward because of how they had to place it. I think it was intentionally meant to be awkward, is what I was getting at. Planning it out and having it written out, I honestly feel like they only planned out like 3 or 4 major story beats and just worked everything in around it. Just the way this is written.
And that's kind of
there are certain story beats that just don't pay off.
And that's kind of the tricky part about reviewing this is, how are we looking at this? Like, we know this is a full completed story.
Yeah.
Like, if we were reviewing this like when it came out, what would we be thinking? But like, we know there's more and like things are connecting. Like, it's kind of hard to sit there and come up with a review for it. Like, what kind of criteria should we be looking at? Should we be looking at it as a week by week single issue? Should we be looking at it as the overall arc?
Well, that's the way I'm looking at it, as a week by week single issue that runs into an overall arc. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, for me at least, like, how does it stand up against everything that I already know about this? Because going back and looking at it objectively after knowing how it ends, after knowing where some of the payoffs are, going back and looking at things in a different light now that I know what to look for me, it gives me that opportunity to see, is this just gratuitous or is this actually well done? Whereas you're looking at it for the first time, so you're giving a first opinion, like a first take on it. And I specifically wanted it to be something similar to
that. Yeah, it still kind of makes it tricky because like in my head I'm thinking like, okay, like this issue in particular, like this has to be setting up like a bunch of stuff that's going to happen in the future just with what happened. Right. It's not just some jerk off in the corner. Whereas if we had just read just this issue, with no other context, like, okay, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
Right. Because you would have had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yeah. And like, oh, is this leading to something else? Like, are they going?
Right.
Like, it definitely changes the context of the book itself depending on how you're looking at it.
Right. But no, next week, well, this weekend is the issue that I can't wait for. Issue 6 is so good. So good. So many cool things happen.
And I still haven't read ahead.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but now you can read issue 6.
I've been wanting to.
You can agree with me. Well, you want to read ahead, you have to read backwards. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think with that, I will go ahead and close this out. I still have some work to do, unfortunately, and not sleep. Now that I'm awake, um, but I
Might
do
as
want to.
well.
I do want to thank everybody for coming to hang out. SJW, Spidey, Chad Middleton, uh, John Dillard, Rick Piper. I keep wanting to call you Rick Pixel for some reason. Matt Christie, Erica. I don't know how to pronounce Swanger. I don't know. I don't know if that's a real last name or not. I do know, but I don't. Sex Brobot. That's the one you were upset that didn't make it back into the chat. I am
was
a
more
user.
curious.
Critter Me Timbers. I think that's everybody. I think I forgot anybody, but I
That looks
definitely
about right.
I definitely appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out with us. And we will see you guys this weekend because I'm actually going to get some sleep one of these fucking days. I swear to God.
Maybe. We'll see.
But with that, I will bid you all adieu, and I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and we will see you this weekend.
Good night, everybody.